When you come out with something really good, I'm talking exceptional, the natural progression is to try to duplicate that product and bring it to more people. And for 2020, Polaris is doing exactly that with the Indy XC lineup. No longer is the Indy XC just a 129. Nope, now you can get it in multiple flavors and different track lengths. And for today, I'm going to be focusing on the Indy XC 137. And this particular model is the SnowTrax Select. That means we get lots of cool stuff and SnowTrax only buyer customizable options included right from the factory, not the least of which is the 850 Patriot. Actually, it's kind of like the cornerstone of the whole SnowTrax platform since the 850 Patriot was released last year as SnowTrax only, and Polaris has continued that for the 2020 season as well. Indy XC means straight tunnel, but up until now you could only get it in a 129. So what did Polaris do to get that extra 8 inches? To get the full 137-inch length, Polaris didn't just stretch the Pro CC rails and call it a day. While they did use the same parts in the skid frame, they needed to adjust the geometry to make it all work just as good as the 129. And that included moving the front arm location as well as other minor tweaks. Now we all know the 129s work better than 120s, but can you truly make a 137 ride as good as a 129? If anyone could, it was going to be the engineers at Polaris, but in the end, I'm here to tell you precisely what they came up with and if it says compliant. Utilizing the same, well, pretty much everything from ski tips to rear bumper, we know that the front end on this sled works great on the Indy XC. But when you add in extra length, the tendency is to cause more push in the corners, and the sled has a harder time to overcome the driving force of all of that track. And when you add in the options of the ice gripper track now available for 2020 SnowTrax Polaris sleds, there's a lot more pressure, quite literally, put on the Axis front suspension. However, the verdict is in, and let me tell you, there is very little to complain about with this new length Indy XC. Corner to corner, this sled has Polaris written all over it. While I was cautious it would lose some of the hallmark Polaris predictable front-end corner railing ability, it absolutely did not. The outside ski still stays flat and doesn't push or bite too hard to cause inside ski lift. 37-inch track does, however, grab a lot more snow and does a good job of putting the 850 Patriot power to the ground. While I didn't go head-to-head with a 129, I wouldn't hesitate to say the 137 both gets going with more authority and also seems to carry just a little bit more top end when you really wind it out. The name Walker Evans and Polaris are now very synonymous, and while you won't find the needle or likewise the velocity shocks on the XC137, we imagine there's going to be a 137 XCR in the Indy XC clothing for the 2021 season. The standard Walker piggyback shocks are plush, comfortable, and deliver really acceptable small chatter compliance and likewise big hit absorption. And remember, these are compression adjustable, so you got lots to play with. Could they use a simplified QS3 style clicker? Well, maybe, but then again, Walker shocks seem to be a real home run for Polaris, and buyers seem to like the easy-to-understand adjustability. And keep in mind, the needle shocks from the XCR or the new Velocities take a lot of getting used to how to adjust them, and are not just a single easy-to-use clicker. Now, when it comes to the real-world suspension performance, I'd say if we were in the head-to-head battle between the 129 and the 137, the 137 certainly bridges some of the medium-sized trail moguls and pre-corner braking bumps better than the 129. However, I believe the 129 to chew through and smooth out the exit bumps when hitting hard on the throttle. With the track length of standard trail sleds seeming to stretch and a 137 really not even being considered a crossover any longer, what are the benefits and do you really need a 137? I like to think of it in terms of what you find yourself riding. If you have tabletop groomed hardpack most of the season and deeper snow conditions on lakes or field crossings are never much of a concern, then the XC129 is probably the right bet for you. Likewise, if you do find yourself on softer snow conditions, lakes and fields that see deeper snow and less grooming, or you like to occasionally pull off into the powder to play, the 137 truly answers the call while not giving up anything and actually gaining in some areas. Now, I'm not saying it's better at everything, and if you're a hard-packed trail railer, you certainly still are going to feel at home on the 129, as it does apex corners and cut a line with greater ease. But the 137 in my books has been able to deliver a nearly matched cornering capability, and that's something that we don't see very often. While the 137 trail compliance war has been dominated by Skidoo's R-Motion rear suspension, I'm here to tell you that the 2020 Indy XC 137 does a darn good job and might even come out on top. If you like what you've just seen, click the subscribe button and comment below. And make sure you check out all of our great videos on SnowTrax TV's YouTube channel.